Now then, this will be a bit different. I'm not going to be on camera for this one. I'm going to decide to start covering some videos where I don't have to appear on camera because it takes so long to put on my outfit. So this one I'm going to get straight to it. The link for this will be in the description. I'm going to listen to what Lubna's got to say for a little while.
What really got to me is that the majority of Muslims that came underneath my video, sorry if I get a bit emotional, the majority of Muslims that came and commented underneath my video, instead of condemning those people who were threatening me, they said, "Oh, we're so happy she's going now. Oh, do you know what? This is bad. This happened."
Yeah, so just for clarity, in case nobody knows, Lubna was making videos speaking out against the negative aspects of the Islamic community within the United Kingdom. And she was forced out of her home through death threats, etc. And that's what she's now making reference to is the reaction to these death threats. Because she put up a video crying, saying that she was going to stop talking about it, which I actually was very disappointed with. I know that she has to put her and her family first, but her choosing to be silent because of the threats from these subhuman specimens. Not all Muslims, obviously, but the ones that make threats are subhuman. Um, she had to leave her home. So, that's not on. And just for clarity, anybody who threatens anybody else with violence is subhuman. Not. This isn't a religion thing or a race thing. This is merely a bad person thing. If you threaten somebody to be quiet because you don't like what they're saying, then you are subhuman and you do not belong in our country. And that is even if you're a British person, if you're trying to silence other people, get out. You are not welcome here.
To you, but um oh yeah, you were coming after us, you were encouraging, you've got extremists in the right, in the far right, who support you, and you've got Israelis coming on your channel, you've got Jewish people coming on your channel on the stage, because when I hold public lives I invite everybody. I'm not going to discriminate against people. I'm not going to say, oh, you're Jewish, you're not allowed on my channel, or you're Israeli, and all of that kind of stuff. Like, my channel is for everybody. I'm not going to discriminate. I want to hear everyone's voice, and that was an issue. Like the fact that Jewish people came, or someone from Israel came on my channel, that automatically meant that now I should be killed for some. And I'm like thinking, whoa, you guys are like, are you sure you're in Britain? Like, this is crazy kind of stuff. So, and I did condemn Gaza. Like, they're like, oh, you never talk about Palestine. You don't ever condemn Gaza. You don't, all those deaths. And I'm like, whoa.
Why is it our issue? Like, nobody's talking about any other conflicts in the world. Nobody was talking about the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Nobody was talking about Cambodia and Thailand. Like nobody's talking about any of these other conflicts around the world. Nobody talks about the Armenians and the Azerbaijanis attacking each other, or rather, the Azerbaijanis attacking the Armenians. But we all have to be bothered about Gaza for some reason, and this is because, with the Gazans being Muslim, the Muslims have an in-group preference. So even if they're not Palestinian themselves, they still prefer the Palestinians over the Jews. And it could be anybody. If it was Hindus attacking the Palestinians, they would still be behaving that way. Although there is definitely some anti-Semitism within the Muslim community, because I've spoken to numerous in the United Kingdom that have said they hate Jews. So it's an open secret, if I'm honest, that a lot of Muslims are anti-Semitic.
Whoa, I've condemned all of that, but you don't hear it, because when I condemn 7th October as well, then that's the only part you hear. You don't hear the other part. Like, they've got selective hearing. So anyway, so when I was reading those horrible messages from the Muslims, I'm like, do you know what? This is what they want. If they're able to silence me now, no other woman, no other person who is feeling like me is going to speak up. Because I get so many messages, and people are looking for someone like a leader. And I'm not saying I'm that leader, but I think I can be a spark. And that's what the extremists are scared of. Like, actually, how many more people are thinking like her? How many more people are now going to speak up? And actually, this cover that we have, like, some people compare moderate Muslims and extremists, with this kind of example, that the extremists are the snake in the grass, and the moderate Muslims are the grass hiding the snake. And I think that's what the
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that before, and it's a good quote. To be honest, I would say that is definitely hitting home, and it's true. I'll just say that it does appear to be true from my perspective that the moderate Muslims will not out the bad ones, and I think that's what's happening in Gaza as well. Like the Palestinians will not out Hamas. They will not point to them and say he's the terrorist, because obviously they'll get killed. But then, so this creates an issue where the moderates won't, out the extremists. Where I think in the West we really do that. We're hyper focused on trying to, if anything, it's like the counter opposite, where we're hyper focused on trying to find the extremists to the point where sometimes we put people down as extremists who aren't.
Extremists are scared of, like, actually how many people are gonna want to speak up and actually start condemning, go against them. And they use this whole ummah thing, or we're the ummah and you can't go against us. And
What's an ummah?
ummah, like, I don't know, like Muslims. So the way I see it, because I'm not an extremist, the way I understand it is that if you're a Muslim, you're part of this community, global community. Like, we're brother, right? We're brother and sister in religion. And you have to be loyal to the ummah. You have to be, that's being loyal to Islam and all that kind of stuff. And this is where my mind is different to a lot of the Muslims I've met in my whole entire life. They're more interested in prophets. I'm interested in God. They're more interested in the ummah. I'm interested in humanity. There's a difference there.
Yeah, I'm the same as Lubna, to be fair. I believe in God, but that is as far as it goes. I don't really get involved in any, Old Testament, New Testament, Quran, whatever. For me, I believe God exists. That's all I need to know. All the rest of it, for me, is overcomplicating the situation. And I think me and Lubna are very similar in that respect. We put God first above anything else within any doctrine. And, we see humanity as being more important than ideology. Although you could potentially say that preferring humanity is a form of ideology.
And therefore, I have described myself as a Muslim with Christian values in the past. Having been raised in the UK, I do think, I think if you're raised in the UK, it would be difficult for you not to have some Christian values unless you've completely not assimilated and integrated, which is what a lot of these extremists have done. They're in the little bubbles. A lot of the people within my faith have a sheep mentality. They're following each other like little sheeps. No one has the guts to be a shepherd. When you be a shepherd, then a lot of the shepherds are the extremists trying to kill people. I don't know. It's all crazy stuff. And I'm thinking, why am I not allowed to speak? So your problem is with people like non-Muslims who are condemning Islam and saying Islam is a problem. I'm not doing that. Your problem is with the ex-Muslims who you are saying are promoting people leaving Islam. I'm not doing that either. I'm not bashing Islam. I'm not even talking. When people come on my channel, I'm like, don't even talk about Islam. Ideally, like the religion and the scripture and all that kind of stuff. Because the problem that I'm trying to solve is not, is Islam the truth or not on my channel. That's not the problem I'm trying to solve. So I don't need to talk about the scripture and this and that. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care whether you're an atheist, a Muslim, a Hindu, or whatever.
It's hard responded to Lubna because she talks in like run-on sentences. It's clear she has a lot on her mind. She's trying to maybe get all these points out that are all a bit like sort of jumbled. But she clearly knows what she's talking about. She knows far more about this situation than I do, that's for sure.
Whatever. All I care about is whatever you believe in, are you going to harm someone or yourself or someone else? And if you're not, I don't care what you believe in. I believe in God, but if you're an atheist, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Can you imagine a Britain that, the 4 or 5 million Muslims in this country, where they did have, as you say, a kind of westernized version of Islam or close to Christian, but just slightly different with some different beliefs and some different things, and just got on? Because I've always thought, okay, a lot of people are saying Islam is incompatible with the West, and that's something I'll ask you about. But also, why can't it?
Let me know down in the comments, do you think Islam is incompatible with the West? I'm a bit on the fence. I'm unprepared to take a side on that debate at the moment, but I'm open to being, I don't know, I'm open to having my mind changed, I suppose.
Just be that way, that it's just, okay, you've got Judaism, you've got Christianity, you've got people who believe in Islam as well, and everybody's getting on the same way that the Hindus and the Sikhs tend to do in this country.
The reason is because we in this country have done a piss poor job of vetting the people that are coming into this country. We've allowed, and again, I need to remind everybody, my own parents were born in Pakistan, which would be classified as a third world country. But not all people within Pakistan have a third world mentality, but a lot of those people do. A lot of them are tribal, and there are certain areas in Pakistan. Can I use the F word or not?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try not to. There are certain areas of Pakistan and certain places that you don't F with these people because they're dangerous. Those are the types of people that we've attracted into this country. Like, we've attracted troublemakers who are...
I'm going to say this, if things do kick off in the UK, we will mess with those people, and they will lose. Nobody will take the United Kingdom from the British. It's our island. So you either get in line and assimilate, or when and if things kick off, you're going to be the one that loses. So if you're listening to this and you're on the side where you don't like Great Britain, I would either leave or I would start to try to assimilate into the society, because you're not going to be on the winning side should things turn violent here. Which, for clarity, YouTube, I do not support a civil war or a revolution. I'm committed to the parliamentary process. This is why I'm making these videos. Debate is superior to fighting, but you have to be pragmatic about this and read the tea leaves, and we are headed in the direction of that, whether you support it or not. But get in line, basically, because you're in our country, you should be adopting our values. Just if I move to China, I must adopt the Chinese values. If I move to Thailand, I must adopt the Thai values. If I move to Namibia, I must adopt the Namibian values. It's not rocket science.
Even uncivil by the Pakistani standards. So, and we've invited all these people, and now they're inviting all their relatives and all that. And now you've got a massive bunch of people, which is a majority, which is incompatible, because they were going to be troublemakers anyway. So what we've done in this country is when people from Pakistan came, their best didn't come. Their best don't need to come because they're very happy in Pakistan, or they go to the Arab countries. They don't need to come here. So what we've done is we've invited trouble, and then we're getting trouble, and then we're like surprised. Oh, why are we having trouble? Because you've invited the troublemakers. That's why.
In Pakistan, then, is there a difference between the sort of people who are moderate Muslims? Are they then going, God, look at these bloody extremists as well we've got in our country?
There may be some. The thing is, it's not even about being religious, because I come from a secular family, but the thing is that the way Muslims are raised is very different to, I feel, a lot of people from other religions. We are raised to be intolerant. Like, if anyone says a word about the Prophet, like it's slightest, don't even question anything. That means, oh, maybe the Satan's trying to get to you and all that kind of stuff. So we're raised in a very different way. We're raised to be intolerant. So when we grow up to be intolerant, it shouldn't be a surprise. So even I was a little bit like that as well. Like, oh my God, because it's unheard of when you're amongst Muslims mostly, and they and you don't hear any kind of people questioning anything or anything like that. When you hear it for the first time, you're thinking, whoa, blasphemy. Even if it's not blasphemy, you hear blasphemy because you've been trained to hear it.
It's like a visceral, it's a feeling, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know that you feel like someone said the wrong thing. It's you get that in politics as well. Someone says transphobe or the opposite, and you actually feel it, don't you?
You've been trained to be triggered.
Yeah.
And then you are easily triggered. The problem, again, I have is fine. If that's the way you want to live, there are so many Muslim countries who have those values, who have that culture. Why not go there? Why stay here? The real thing that really annoys me is when these people are living here. They're coming here, literally dying to come here. And once they're here, they're complaining. Ooh, Western culture is so bad and it's so satanic. Oh, like no one's doing any sins in Muslim countries. There's Bachabazi, which I'm not sure whether you know about, which happens in Pakistan and Afghanistan, which is absolutely disgusting. It's essentially pedophilia, and it's cultural, where the children in certain areas in Pakistan and Afghanistan are taken. The boys, the young boys, are called dancing boys. You may have seen or heard of documentary. Exactly. So, I mean, in my mind, that's pretty un-Islamic, right?
So that's Pakistan as well. I knew that was Afghanistan.
But yeah, Pakistan and Afghanistan, and they're bordering each other as well.
Oh, right. How common?
I'm not sure how common it is. I've seen.
Surprised he didn't know that they border each other. I mean, maybe he wasn't surprised at that part, but it seems surprising to me that he wouldn't know that.
Seen boys in every single bus in Pakistan when I've gone. The last time I went to Pakistan was like 8 years ago, and I never knew about this. But when I started researching into my religion and all this kind of stuff, then all this kind of stuff started popping up. Again, my issue was Muslims, let's condemn the bad apples. This is wrong. Let's condemn the bachabazi. Let's condemn the misogyny. Let's condemn the grooming gangs. And what I found is the majority of Muslims, just going by the experience with me doing my YouTube channel, is they don't want to condemn it because in their mind is if you condemn it, then you're accepting there's an issue. And we don't have any issues because Islam is perfect and Muslims are perfect and we're all going to heaven. So And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then I'm like, look, I'm not saying anything about Islam. Islam is perfect, mashallah, whatever, right? Let's talk about the human behavior. Human behavior-wise, this is wrong. Da, 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 da. So I've tried to make the conversation easier with Muslims, knowing how extremist they are and screwed up some of them are. Like they are. I'm sorry, they do. They lack critical reasoning skills. They're intolerant. They don't have British values. When Nigel Farage says the majority of Muslims don't have British values, I agree with him. They don't. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. Now, a lot of the Muslims, wherever you guys are, if you're getting knickers in the twist, I don't even care anymore because the BASTARDs that are after me, you didn't condemn them. You didn't condemn those bastards. You were condemning me for condemning the bad apples. All I said is, I keep saying in every single video.
I think this is an Asian thing as well, because you find this with the Far East Asians as well, that they have this face culture where if you to talk bad about the country, the tribe, the village, then you lose face. You're the one that's in the wrong for being critical. But in the West, we're not like that. We are critical. We have a thriving, philosophical nature to be able to critique the state, and that has been something that, at least in England anyway, I would say, has been around since at least the Civil War. So for 500-600 years, is it around about? Probably a bit longer, I think, actually. So yeah, we very much are critical. We can talk bad about the country, our towns, etc., because we know we're trying to improve them by being critical. But in Asia, it's not the same, and I think this is the issue where when we're bringing Asians into the country, sometimes they bring in this intolerant nature where you can't be critical about them, their behaviors, etc. But you should be able to, like people are negative about expats in other countries, and they can freely tell expats that they are doing wrong. So I kind of think that is a bit of an issue, and I'm not saying that Asians shouldn't be able to immigrate to the United Kingdom, but they should be losing that concept of face, or at least their version of it, because in our culture, you lose face when you lie, and this is what's happening with Lubna. People are lying to her and trying to say there's not a problem when there quite clearly is a problem. Lubna is in the right. She's on the right side of history.
I say this all the time. My viewers and my subscribers will know. I give my opinion only. My opinion is not fact and can change over time. I say that all the time. And what I also say is I'm only talking about the bad apples. I'm not saying all Muslims are bad. I'm not saying all Pakistanis are bad. However, people can't tell the difference between who are the good ones, who are the bad ones. So the only way they can know is if you speak, open your mouth and tell people. When you're going to condemn the person who's condemning the bad apples, you're going to look complicit. Common sense. Because they're in this little victimhood mentality, they keep talking about colonialism. Colonialism happened. Colonialism didn't happen to Pakistan. It happened to India. Pakistan didn't even exist. Actually, Britain created Pakistan. Be grateful. Now, again, all the Pakistanis are going to get their knickers in a twist. I'm just being honest, guys. Like, there are so many idiots out there with...
Yeah, colonization was a good thing. We improved the world. The British Empire was the greatest empire the world has ever seen. Without us, the world would still be crap, basically. The modern world is our creation. So if you're whining about colonization, you need to get a grip, because these things haven't happened within your lifetime, and it wasn't our ancestors that live on this island that were even complicit with any atrocities that happened in other countries. And not only that, you don't blame children for the sins of their fathers. So it's a completely illogical stance to take that colonialization happened hundreds of years ago, so now we need to do bad things. Like, you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong if you think that. You're the evil person.
From people from my race and religion. Like, there's too many where it's like, do you know, I need to speak up now because I've had enough of this nonsense. There's these clowns that come on and they talk about like, there's this lawyer who's a clown as well, I feel. I'm not going to say his name. I can't even remember. That's how unimportant he is. But like, he talks about like, they sit in this little group and they do a podcast and they talk about colonialism and how our parents came here and they built Britain. No, they didn't. Britain was already built. You came...
Yeah, the British built Britain, not immigrants. This is the same thing when the Irish tried to say they built England. They didn't build England. The English built England. The Irish built Ireland. The Scottish built Scotland. The Welsh built Wales. Like, no immigrants built a separate country other than potentially America, because everybody's immigrants. But yeah, like, if you think that your ancestors built Britain and your ancestors didn't come from Great Britain, you are a liar. Your ancestors, in my opinion, most of these people's ancestors worked in foundries, they were taxi drivers, worked in the corner shop. They didn't build anything. They merely provided services within that country.
here as an economic migrant, and all the money that you've got in Pakistan is only because of this country. So be grateful. Like, it's just so screwed up. Like, and someone said this to me, and this really stuck with me, is supremacy mindset is an inverted inferiority complex. That is so true. So a lot of these people, where they're like superior.
Yeah, that is correct. I think I might leave this video here for now anyway, and I'm going to make that the title of the video. If you want to see what the rest of what Lubna has to say, then please go check out this interview. I'll put the link in the description. As you can see, it's quite lengthy. But Lubna has lots of pertinent information the rest of us can listen to. And if you're a left-winger, you definitely need to listen to what she's saying, because while you're fighting against the will of the rest of us, you're creating an issue, and you're making life harder for people like Lubna and everybody else by not addressing these issues. But as I say, the link will be in the description. Please go watch this in your own time and subscribe to Andrew Galt's channel. And I will see you in the next one. City.
They've got this superior